Simon says thrust.
Simon
Happy
says,
thrust.
fuck you,
Bitch, fuck you.
bitch. Welcome, everyone, to the Hecatesdoorway podcast.
Hoo-hoo.
What?
I don't know what the fuck to say.
I guess I'm sitting here with my owl.
Hoo-hoo.
Ooh, bitch.
Hoo-hoo.
Ooh, you're a bitch.
Welcome and thank y'all for coming back. For the regulars who keep listening, and for new listeners, we hope you enjoy our episodes.
Hopefully.
Over here on my left is Brandon.
Sup, bitch?
My name is Gabriel. Great to hear you all, meet you all. Yeah, I just
Good?
got off work. I'm kind of tired. But it's okay, we'll make this work.
Will we?
Yes.
All right.
It won't be the prettiest, but
They
damn,
never
we'll
are.
have fun.
None of our episode. I don't think our episode should ever be considered pretty now with the things we talk about.
Not even the creepypasta ones?
I'm still kind of scarred from the last one.
Don't
Which
remind me.
No one knows because this is that one's gonna go up way after this.
Ah, okay.
But we recorded one, ran into a blunder of sorts.
A big one that we regret ever reading.
That's a story for another time.
Might not tell it. Probably won't
Probably
tell it.
won't now.
Honestly, no.
Today, as I'm sure obviously everyone knows because it's the title of the fucking episode.
Wait, it is?
Yeah.
What's the title of the episode?
The Green River Killer.
Oh, shit.
Whoa, we're going to talk about this dumb fucking piece of shit. He really was dumb. He apparently had an IQ of like 84.
Yet he was able to get away with murder for how long?
Too long. But honestly, a lot of people say he was kind of a quote unquote genius when it comes to murdering. I don't think I want to give him that. I'm going to say the cops were just fucking terrible because fucking 40 plus sex workers go not even missing, just dead. And we all know cops don't really give a shit when a sex worker goes missing or ends up dead. Not until the body count goes to the point where you can't look the other way.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper was like the best version of that. I think cops actually still gave a shit back then for some reason. Well, because he killed like 2 or 3 and then everyone's on his ass.
Yeah, you're right.
This
you're right.
motherfucker's killing 40 and cops are just like, there's another one. So where do you want to go for breakfast?
This is like, what, 1880s, right?
Yeah.
Not much was going on back then. This was before World War II.
What?
No, wait, my dumbass. Never mind.
1980.
Yeah, I'm dumb. Holy shit.
Gary Ridgeway, a serial killer from 1884.
Oh, man.
Well,
Forget what I said.
yeah.
Don't listen to me.
Forget what he says. Let's start this shit.
So, it all began with Gary Ridgway, a.k.a. the Green River Killer. He was an American serial killer who operated in Washington State from 1982 to 1984. Why do I want to keep saying 18?
It must have been because we were talking about Sweeney Todd last episode.
Yeah, probably.
Are you still in that era?
That was one hell of an error.
Oh, yeah.
Though recently it's believed he may have been killing up until his final arrest in 2001. His official victim count is in the 49, but further confession brings the number up to possibly 71. And damn, that's a lot of dead bodies for one guy.
Yeah, at one point during his because he would keep confessing because he didn't want to get the death penalty. At one point, I believe during his trial, he said that he killed so many he couldn't keep track.
Damn.
Yeah, so he has no idea, but it's pretty fucking high.
Yeah, I imagine at some point.
Also, he's an idiot, so it could be fucking 20. He's counting on his fucking toes twice. 1, 2, 3. Did I count that one?
No.
8.
Okay.
11.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
For this dumpy fuck.
The name Green River Killer comes from the area which his first 5 victims were found, in the Green River in Washington state. His victims tended to be sex workers, and his method of murder was strangulation. He would then dump the bodies out in the forested areas, somewhat hidden from public, where he would later return to have sex with the corpse. He was eventually arrested in 2001 thanks to DNA evidence linking him to 4 different murders, and through a plea deal, he dodged the death penalty and sits in Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla without the possibility of parole.
Funny thing about the Green River name, as soon as they started calling him the Green River Killer, because they kept finding his bodies there, he just changed the location.
What?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, stuck with him now.
Yeah. No, he's like, oh, they keep finding my bodies. Thanks for telling me. I'll go change spots.
Yeah, that's a whoopsie.
There's a few of those.
It's gonna happen.
With that little bit of background information, let's hop in our little way back machines and go all the way back to 1949.
Ooh.
Gary Leon Ridgeway was born February 18th, 1949, Salt Lake City, Utah, to Mary and Thomas Ridgeway. He was the second of 3 sons. Like a lot of serial killers, Gary had a troubled home life. A common trope among serial killers like Gary, his mother was described as a very domineering mother and witnessed many violent arguments between his parents. His father was a bus driver who often complained about sex workers. Another trait shared among serial killers, Gary said he had problems with wetting the bed until he was 13 years old, which is a common thing. I don't quite understand.
How's that common?
I would say like 80% of serial killers were bedwetters until their teens.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Weird, but okay.
Yeah.
How'd they even come up with that?
They confessed it. They confessed it. Like, this is based on what serial killers say after that. Because most of these guys love to just talk about themselves.
Yeah, true.
So we get most of this from self-admission, which, you have to take with a bit of grain of salt. But when you have all of these guys saying the same thing...
Yeah. They'll figure at some point it's real.
Mm-hmm. He said his mother would wash his genitals after every episode, and he would later tell his defense psychologist that he had a conflicting feelings, anger, and sexual attraction towards his mother.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he wanted to kill and fuck his mother. His mother was also really weird about it. Like, every time you'd pee, she'd like take him out. She'd call him a little pee-ass, and she'd throw him in the tub, and she would either wash his dick and balls herself or stand there and watch him do it every time.
That's such a weird thing to do.
It's really weird. And then he wanted to fuck his mom. There was like one interview after his capture where he was talking about watching his mother sunbathe and how he could see through her dress and all that fucked up shit.
That's... What? Okay.
My man had a mommy complex to the max.
That he did.
When Gary was 16, he brought a 6-year-old boy into the woods and stabbed him through the ribs into his liver. But the boy survived the attack.
Damn.
I don't know if that's really true. I couldn't find much. A lot of sources said that happened, but at the same time, that also just kind of feels like something he would say.
Yeah, just to gain attraction and attention.
There was another thing he said where I can't remember how old he was. I think he was a bit younger than 16 at this point, but he said that his first murder, heavy air quotes, because I couldn't find any reports to back this up. He just said it himself, though. He went out like kayaking with a friend, and he drowned him in the river. I'm pretty sure he didn't do either. Yeah,
that seems like... With that many people, someone would definitely take a notice.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're going kayaking, which is a dangerous sport, still... In 1969, Gary graduated from T or Tai? Tai?
I couldn't find... I think it's like... Let me look that up.
Tia High School and went on to marry Claudia Craig, which is weird, but okay. Such a weird name for high school, but
Well, at this point we didn't. I didn't put this in the script. I should have. They moved to Washington like right away. So he was born in Utah, but as a child he's in Washington. So this is a Washington high school.
okay.
And it's probably like a native name. You know, like a lot of like I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but you know what I'm talking about. If anyone lives in Washington, you know what I'm talking about. Like half of the high schools have like native names.
Yeah, especially the ones down in Yakima.
Yeah, down in that area. So it's probably that.
Okay, interesting.
It's probably not Tea Time High School.
He went on to marry Claudia Krieg, his 19-year-old high school girlfriend. He also joined the Navy and was stationed on a supply ship. And during this time, he frequently slept with sex workers and contracted gonorrhea. That's what you get for fucking cheating, bitch.
That's something that we're gonna see a lot
I imagine.
of.
This made him angry, but he continued to have unprotected sex. Well, that's your fucking fault. You dumb fuck.
I'm pretty sure they had condoms in like the.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What is this? The 70s? Did they have condoms? Never mind me. I can't speak.
Yeah, I think they had condoms back then.
That's actually a good question. Did they have condoms back then?
Side note, condoms were invented in the 1800s.
Yes, they did have condoms back then.
You wanna know what they used before condoms?
I'm guessing animal intestines.
You're not wrong.
Ugh.
The ancient Romans used bladders of animals to protect the women.
Ugh.
They were warned not to prevent pregnancy, but to prevent contraction of venereal. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that word wrong. Venereal diseases. Yep.
That's gross. What the fuck?
I mean, at least they were being safe.
Were they, though? I can't imagine shoving an animal's carved up organ up inside you is really all that safe.
I mean, latex. Is it any better?
I hope they washed it first.
Oh, I'm sure they cleaned
They
it.
just cut it open.
They were the Romans, not barbarians.
My bad.
That marriage only lasted a year. Just, only a year. I can
wonder
imagine why.
Could it be all of the sex workers he
Was it the
visited?
gonorrhea he contracted? They gave it away.
I don't think he kept it much of a secret. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
When your husband's staying out late like every night and he's like, yeah, it was just overtime. Bitch.
Yeah, it's like, bitch, he's cheating. Bitch, they cheating. He would go on to marry again. This time, he'd marry Marcia Winslow, who had a son within a year in 1975. This marriage won't last long either, and soon Marcia would leave Gary. The marriage was filled with infidelity, and at one point, Marcia even claimed Gary put her in a chokehold. Damn.
Yeah, he was abusive to his first two wives, but not his third, apparently.
I guess
He had 3 fucking wives.
Third time's the charm?
Well, kinda.
During the time of his second marriage, Gary would become a very religious person. He would go door to door to proselytize. It is said he'd constantly read the Bible out loud and even insisted Marcia follow the strict teachings of his pastor. Though throughout this religious revelation, he was still going out to see sex workers and even tried to get Marcia to have sex with him in public places. Damn, so he was
everyone that he was with said he had like over the top sex drive. Like he wanted to fuck all the time. He wanted to fuck in public. He wanted to fuck with other people. He wanted to fuck all the fucking time.
Damn, okay.
I don't know. I mean, I know everyone has a different sex drive. Maybe it's because mommy was grabbing his dick every time he pissed the bed. Call him a dirty little boy.
I'm surprised he didn't develop some kind of submissive personality or some domineering type either.
Oh, he's definitely got the domineering type. This is the people who kill. Every serial killer pretty much has that kind of complex where they feel like they don't have power in their lives some way or another. So by killing, they now take the power back. I think it was like Ted Bundy who said that in the moment when you're killing someone, you become God to that person.
Damn, okay.
Fucked up guy. We'll talk about Ted Bundy later.
Back onto public sex.
Back to public sex.
It included places his later victims would be discovered. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are some of his favorite fuck spots.
Yeah, no kidding. He took his dead bodies back there. All three of Gary's ex-wives and several of his ex-girlfriends would later say that he was obsessed with sex. He would demand it from them multiple times a day and insist on having it public or out in the woods.
Yeah, something was up with this guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it was only going to get worse from there. Gary was obsessed with sex workers in the most unhealthy way possible. Even though he was in constant use of their services, he would also complain about their presence in his neighborhood. It was almost as though he was constantly split between his obnoxious religious self and his love of risque sex.
Risque.
It's a very odd, well actually it's not a very odd duality. I'm pretty sure with like the sheer amount of like staunch conservative religious guys who come out that they do all like the gay, which is totally fine. You want to do a gay orgy? Fucking do it.
Yay.
But with the amount of them who are like, against everything that isn't traditional, and then it's like, but you're going and having gay orgies every week. I guess it's not that odd of a duality. It's kind of normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, off that. The majority of his murders took place between 1982 and 1984, though we'll touch on that a little bit later. It was originally believed that he stopped murdering around 84 when he married his third wife, but later evidence and confessions have
proven otherwise.
Yes. Originally, his victim total was 48, but as we stated earlier, he would go on to say that he killed at least 71, losing count of his real victim number. The killings took place in Seattle and Tacoma areas, and his victims were mostly sex workers or runaways. It's our area.
Yay.
It's believed his first victim was a 16-year-old girl.
Damn.
And he would state that originally he killed them facing towards him, but after that first murder, for some reason, he couldn't get the face of her out of his mind every time he tried to kill.
Good.
This guy's really weird, but he would kill them
forget them
facing away, so he wouldn't have to look in their face anymore.
He couldn't face them.
This guy's a little bit of a different.
Yeah.
In some aspects. There's another thing we'll touch on later, too, that makes me think his mind worked a little differently than a Ted Bundy. He would pick up his victims to have sex with, either in his car or in an agreed-upon location. He would even take his son with him on a lot of these outings.
What the fuck?
That was actually his son was all a part of this. He would go out with his son in the car, or if his son wasn't in the car, he would show them pictures of his son and try to like disarm them and make them think, oh, this is just a dad who loves his son taking his son out while he goes to fuck up a sex worker, I guess. But yeah, no. He took his son with him on almost all of them, or he would bring him up almost every time.
Damn.
In an attempt to relax them and lull them into a false sense of safety. But yeah, that's really fucked up.
On to his methods of killing.
Yeah, with the fact that he doesn't remember how many people he's killed, we can't really do we can't do it properly and tell you each victim. Like if we were going to cover like a Richard Chase or something like that, we could tell you when he went after which victim and tried to give them like a
Yeah.
proper.
Oh, this episode would be like 2 hours long.
Yeah, not even that, but like there just isn't. It's even worse than we were doing like the torso murder, where it was like a sporadic.
Yeah.
No one even really found him at the right time. He doesn't even know how many he killed. He doesn't know who they were. A lot of them were found so late that they weren't be able to be identified properly.
Damn.
So we can't tell you the list, but we're gonna tell you, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you really want to know.
How he killed them.
Let's get into it.
To the numbers.
Let's strangle some sex workers on our way to the numbers.
Those of you that know dead meat. Yeah.
I feel like he's not going to like that joke. He's going to be like, you guys need to take that out. Maybe, I don't know.
That's if he even knows about us, which I doubt it.
Why would I assume he would listen?
His method of murder was always strangulation. He began by using his arms or his bare hands, taking them from behind until they fell dead. He would leave the corpse in what he called dump sites, many of which he would return to have sex with the corpses. Okay, good to know. Did not need to know that, but okay.
Lock that in my brain. Won't forget it.
Sadly. He would go on to say that he wasn't as interested in necrophilia itself, but more than that, it was a way for him to calm his urges without killing another woman too soon and getting himself caught.
That's the other thing that I was thinking about that makes me think he's slightly different.
Yeah.
You rarely hear too many of these fucks who say that they're trying to do something to keep them from killing, because for most of these guys,
True.
killing is like a drug. They want to do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here, which I really shouldn't, because this guy's a piece of shit. He's probably not wanting to kill because he doesn't want to kill. He's probably trying not to kill so he doesn't get caught.
Yeah.
But still, I just find that a little interesting that he would say that he would go back, unlike Ted Bundy, who would go back just to defile them. He goes back, according to him, of course, which is not the most reliable source, considering he loses count of his victims every time he gets to the third toe.
He is just... oh, man. Sadly, most of these victims weren't found until they were nearly completely decomposed. Because they were completely decomposed, the cops themselves were having a hard time, and it seems like they didn't really care sometimes because they were just sex workers.
No.
Which, yeah.
What?
Most people would look the other way, sadly.
No way. Hold on a second there. You trying to tell me cops don't give a shit about a sex workers dying?
I'm sure some do, but yeah, like, most of them probably, especially back in that day. Oh, man.
No. Hold on, I gotta find my surprised hat.
You don't have a surprise hat.
I know I threw it away because I never fucking use it. 'Cause I'm totally not shocked.
Oh, how many stories? Yeah, that's something for a different day.
Oh, there's gonna be multiple of those on this fucking show.
Really? Damn, okay.
Well, I mean, just it involves this. The majority of these guys kill sex workers, if not their entire quote-unquote career, the beginning at least, and it's pretty obvious
Consistent.
that they do it not only because they're, unfortunately easy to grab,
Yeah.
but also because they more than likely know that they're going to be able to get away with it much longer than if they were killing quote-unquote regular citizens.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
2 of the victims found remain unidentified for this very reason, because they were just so damn decomposed. It was just hard to tell them, tell who was who.
Yeah.
He would also often try to cover his tracks by leaving gum and cigarette butts he found at the dump sites. He'd also transport a few of his victims across state lines to Oregon. Damn.
Yeah. Just DNA testing didn't really exist in this time, so it wasn't to do that. It was just to, like, because I guess he never chewed gum or smoked, so it'd be like, well, it couldn't be Gary. I ain't never seen him stick a gum in his mouth before.
Yeah.
Something like that. Once the number of missing women reached a level that couldn't be ignored, and I'm sure public pressure to actually solve what was obviously a problem piled on police, they finally put together the Green River Task Force.
Yeah, after about 40 kills.
A good old hot dog squad.
No, not the hot dog squad.
I still can't believe they actually called themselves that.
Why would they? That's such a dumb name.
Well, this is the squad that literally had to have BTK say, hey, if I sent you a floppy disk, would you not be able to track it?
Right.
The only reason that piece of shit got caught.
Yep.
And these are the people who would eventually approach Ted Bundy to get some insight on the killer. Bundy would tell them to stake out the area in which he left his victims because he was more than likely revisiting the sites. And while Bundy was absolutely right, for whatever reason, this method did not lead to his capture. And at one point, he said that he started burying them, whether it was to avoid capture or to avoid him going back and fucking them.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
On top of that, I'm pretty sure they just didn't stake out the spots long enough. But yeah, no, that's not what led to his capture. In I wrote that wrong. I wrote 1892.
See, it's not just me.
Oh, we're stuck in the 1800s apparently.
Ooh. Steampunk revolution.
Whoa. 1982, Ridgeway became a suspect in the killings and was questioned in 83 after a witness reported seeing a victim get into his truck with him. He had denied everything and even somehow passed a polygraph.
Those things are so easy to fake.
Oh, they are. They really are. Especially if you're a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
Like, it all predicates on how you react to the question. It has nothing to do with whether you're telling the truth. It's just how your body naturally reacts.
Yeah. If
and
you
because
believe it,
exactly, yeah. Because most of us, if we get caught in a lie, we know we're lying, and our bodies are going to start, flipping out like, oh, shit, you got to lie. But if you're a sociopath, you fucking believe it. You're like, oh, yeah, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
No, what? I don't have a dead person in my arms right now. In 1984, detectives found a report from 2 years ago of a sex worker getting in Ridgeway's parked car with him, the same area a body would later turn up in. So by 87, a search warrant for his home is obtained, though they couldn't match anything from his home to any known victims. They did, however, take a DNA sample, but the testing capabilities of the time weren't able to make any use of it. And it's in this time also that he gets with his third wife. There's nothing really remarkable to say about his third wife. This is also the point where people thought initially that he stopped killing. I'm not too sure why. He seemed to have slowed. He admitted that he was killing, just not as high numbers. I'm guessing they must have clicked on a sexual level, and he was getting his fucking in.
Probably.
But he would say that he would kill in the morning before work or after work, and then say that he was doing overtime. The only other really remarkable thing to say about this wife is I don't want to malign her because I think she had good intentions behind what she said, but she said when she initially also believed that he wasn't killing. When she found out that he was the Green River Killer, she said that she felt she saved lives by being his wife because she believed that, them fucking led to him not murdering.
Would have saved more lives if she just turned them in, but okay.
Well, she didn't know.
Oh,
she didn't know until he got captured. Yeah,
okay.
No, she had no idea. He seemed to be his most normal with her. He wasn't like being over the top, I guess, with sexual wants. He was also getting older.
Yeah.
He wasn't, from what I could find, he wasn't beating her. He wasn't being abusive. they seem to actually have like a normal, quote unquote, normal relationship. So she had no reason other than him being questioned. But I assume he must have wrote it off, being like, "Yeah, I used to hook up with sex workers."
Yeah.
So she seemed to think it was all normal.
And that takes us to 2001, when Gary was picked up again for soliciting. They looked at both the DNA test sample and his polygraph test. With the new technology, they were able to confirm his DNA to semen that was taken from the victim, as well as finding that Gary worked at a plant in which he would do detailed paint work on trucks. A paint that was specific to the plant and the time period in which Gary worked there. This paint had been discovered on at least 3 of his victims. So with the paint, the DNA, and the polygraph test, that after looking at it through the parameters of testing at the time, would have been a failed test. Gary Ridgeway was arrested and charged with 6 counts of murder.
Finally gets caught. Yeah.
After fucking almost
Way
20 years?
Yeah, just about. You know, I don't know. I guess, you know, they pick him up again because he's getting prostitutes.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, this is the guy that we picked up and took DNA from. Let's run this shit again. And I don't know what parameters were different in, you know, the late 80s to the 2000s with polygraph testing. But apparently, whatever they were, if they were the same in 2001... If in 2001 it was the same parameters in when they took his in, what was it, 84, he would have failed. But because they were different back then, he passed. I could not find what. I'm guessing it's just like how.
Maybe the technology or the way it was reading the human body.
Something like that, yeah. But
probably picked up sudden nuances in his brain.
Must have, yeah. Or it might all be bullshit, who knows. But we know he did it, so.
True.
And then, yeah, they found some paint because he did detail work on trucks.
That was the paint that gave him away.
Yeah, it was when he was painting erasing stripes on his victims' heads. Gary knew he was going to go down for these and that he'd get the death penalty. So in order to get out of that, he struck a plea bargain and confessed to 49 murders, saying he could point out where each was. And through his confessions, he got a life sentence. He would eventually go on to continuously confess more and more over the years. And that's how we get to the 71, and how in his trial we get to, I don't even know how many I killed. I lost count.
Damn.
Yeah. A certified piece of shit. Caught way too fucking late.
Sadly.
He should have been picked up right away.
Should have.
Within 2 years of his killing spree, he was already arrested once for, you know, for soliciting prostitutes and for being suspected of murder.
Yeah.
But
I think they would have kept an eye on him after that. But I guess not.
I mean, they went back again with that warrant, but they couldn't find anything. But I don't know. Whether it was just technology at the time didn't allow for it, or the cops just didn't give a shit, probably a mix of the two. He was just allowed to go on far too long. Because as we said in the beginning of this episode, he admitted that he'd been killing all the way up until his final capture.
Yeah.
Initially, everyone seemed to think that he was only killing from 82 to 84. After he married his third wife, he just stopped. But we found out from finding more victims and further confessions from the Ridgeway idiot himself that he'd been killing all the fucking way up until 2001. You know,
at least he's behind bars now.
At least.
And his ass is gonna die in there.
Yeah. At least. You know, at the very least, we didn't have to describe any nasty details because he just strangled them.
Yeah.
We're saving that for when we talk about...
Oh, no, not the
Richard Chase. Oh, God, no. I'm going to be completely real. If we do the Toy Box Killer, it's going to be pretty far away because that one is going to be a fucking shit show.
Yeah, more likely I'm going to be reading most of it because
I'm not even sure
in here.
Well, We toyed with the idea of reading his disgusting fucking transcripts of his tapes that he would play for the women that he would capture, and I'm not even sure if we should read those. Like, do we want to sit here reading bestiality shit?
I mean, honestly, we're a true crime podcast. We're not the only ones that have done an episode on him.
No.
They did some too, so if we want to somehow get that episode kind of where... and we want to get that episode in a good... get a good listener range, you know that they're going to be interested in that stuff. Their morbid curiosity is what's going to drag them to listen.
Yeah.
Listen our podcast about that episode.
We will just have to steel ourselves in the next few months.
Yeah.
That's a ways down the road. But no.
Quite a ways.
That was the Green River Killer. That was fucking counting on his toes Gary Ridgeway. Not the most compelling story, I guess.
Nah, not really.
He's just a very weird case. Mostly, we wanted to start with him because this is our first quote-unquote modern serial killer. We've covered the torso murderer, but, you know, that was more of a way back serial killer.
Yeah.
And this is our first caught serial killer, too.
Yeah, true. Wait, didn't they catch the Tulsa?
Nope.
No way, they did not.
No. We think we might know who it was.
Yeah.
But no. So this was our first modern. This was our first caught. So we figured, let's do one that's from our area.
Yeah.
You know, could have done Bundy, but Bundy was also all over the place.
Yeah, true. Bundy is... I think we'll leave Bundy for later since everyone has done him.
Yeah. No. But that's what we start with that, but we'll do some more compelling ones. As I stated, our next heavy hitter is probably going to be Richard Chase.
Yep.
Get ready for that.
That might be a while, but we'll see. I also need to get working on that script for the witches.
Yeah. That's actually a good plug.
Yeah.
Gabe here is our resident Wiccan, resident witch.
Hey.
So we had an idea to let Gabe just hammer out a script and take me on a little journey with you guys throughout some topic about witchcraft or another. I'm not sure what.
It'll probably be a really big one that will cover multiple different aspects of witches and witchcraft and the history of it, more likely.
Are you going to talk about chaos magic?
Probably. I'll probably go through the list of different types of magic that people practice and use, because there is a bunch.
Now that'd be fun. I thought that'd be interesting. I don't know too much about magic. I know a bit about fucked up people and cryptids, but I don't know a lot about magic. So
I'm thinking of including voodoo in that one too, because
give me some voodoo.
Voodoo, it's an episode on its own, but it's still an interesting subject to cover. So I might just add it to it. Not Chucky.
Well, that was Gary Ridgeway. Thank you all for listening, all 8 of you.
Thank you.
Actually, it's been more than 8.
Yeah.
It's been more than 8 since, like, episode 2, actually.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's actually, we're at, like, fucking, I don't know, almost 100.
Sweet. Really?
We're getting there.
Shit.
Episode
Tight.
1's like 80 right now.
Damn. That's the worst one so far.
Well, we recorded that one.
Oh, really?
That's
right.
We gotta re-record the second episode.
Yeah, we do.
We really gotta re-record that one.
Yeah, we will. Alright. Quickly plug us into our Twitter and whatnot.
Yes. As we always say, if you want to follow us on Twitter, that would be cool. We post, when the episodes go live, we do little sneak peeks. It's at hecate_podcast. We have all our links on there too. If you want to contact us, one thing we would love to do is, amongst doing the shitty creepypastas, is to get some interesting stories. If you want to send us any of your stories about anything from being stalked by some freak to being haunted,
Anything, yeah.
Send it to us. Even if you want to send us something stupid, send it to us.
Yeah, we'll read that too.
We'll include it in those shitty creepypasta episodes. That'd be fun. So send that to our email at hecatesdoorwaypod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll plug in the show notes as well. You can check out our super cool website that's totally not totally not crappy. It's not crappy. It's just not great. It's free. We can't afford a paid one yet.
No, not yet. We'll get there someday, but not yet.
But on that website, you will see, if you feel so kind, a link to our Patreon. If you want to donate to us anything. There's only $1 tier right now. That's the only thing I think we're really worth right now.
Yeah.
But if you would like to do that, that would be... Yeah. No.
Now we're too good for a penny.
Everything's too good for a penny nowadays, man. Pennies are fucking worthless.
True.
But if you want to donate, that's there. We'd appreciate it.
If you want, we can also shout you guys out in some way too.
Yeah, if you want. Why not? If you got anything you want us to shout out, we can do that. If you want a stupid sticker, I can send you a stupid sticker.
Hey.
It's whatever. You'll find all of our links. You'll find all of our links on our website, on our Twitter as well, if you want to. But yeah.
Other than that, that's everything for the night.
Thank you all for listening. Make sure to rate us on wherever you're listening. 5 stars only.
Yeah. 5 stars only.
5 stars only. Or as I have said multiple times, I will find where you live. I will come into your house. I'll bring the supplies, but I will bake you a disgusting, dry, crunchy ass cake and make you eat the whole thing if you rate us lower than 5.
Damn. To that one person, don't worry. We won't make you a shitty cake.
Oh yeah, so she got it. She rated us 5 stars. No shitty cake.
No, she gets a grade A tier cake.
Not made by me.
No, I'll make the cake. This man cannot cook for shit.
If you rate us 5, Gabe will make you a cake. If you rate us anything under that, I make you a cake, and that's a fucking threat.
Yeah, because this man cannot cook to save his life.
No, I cannot.
I had him made one meal. He made something different. I don't know how he did that.
You know, I just close my eyes and let the spirit of Chef Ramsay guide me.
He ain't even dead yet. Alright. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Blessed be.
Hail Satan.
Bye.